Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Warning! This video contains content that is not suitable for all audiences. Some of the information in the following video could be, will be shocking to some viewers and likely to cause unexpected reactions. This video is for educational purposes only and does not break any of the YouTube's policies as outlined in their community guidelines. Viewers' discretion is advised. Now, it's time for your show. Good evening, travelers and those alike. How is everybody doing this evening? We're just trying to get little things set up there. Oh, we lost a camera. Uh-oh.
Which camera we lose?
It looks like the basement camera.
They're fucking with us already.
Yeah, it shows that it's showing, but we're not seeing it on the screen. Yep, we completely lost it. Well, I'm going to let you two talk, introduce yourselves, and I'll be right back. You know who these are. You know who I am. Welcome to the show. You know where we're at. Ryan, you're the man. Rhonda, I'm the hitman. I'll be right back.
What is up, all you freaks out there? This is Ryan. I'm here with the co-host with the most, Rhonda, on the Orion Effect podcast. Howie is helping us take care of some technical difficulties.
We are at the Rancher at the cabin on 360.
Live inside the Rancher.
In the den.
We're in the den area behind the kitchen.
Because it's the only one that doesn't echo.
Yeah. The other places will probably be hearing our voices.
So we've also set up cameras in Melissa's room and in the basement, but we lost the basement camera. That is where Howie went. I'll say hello to some of the people who have joined us. I see John Sullivan. Hello. Mary Ann, Renee Cody, Shayla.
Ronnie. What's up, Ronnie? How you doing? Ronnie Rickard, Shayla and Ronnie are watching us.
Awesome.
So very glad you joined us tonight on the I keep wanting to say the Freak Out show, but that's not. Well, I'll say that for Tuesday.
That'll be for Tuesday.
Yeah. So
So this is the first time anybody's broadcast out of the rancher, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We tried doing it in early. We did it in Melissa's room, but I don't think the connection was bad. But this is the first time. Hopefully, it actually, if it stays going, then this is the first time we've ever broadcasted.
Here we go.
From here.
He's back.
There we are.
Back. Hey, Ron Wood.
Mary Ann, thanks for watching.
I think so. It was up and then it was, nope, it's back.
There it is.
Yeah, it's back. If it goes out again, we just have to assume they don't want to be on video.
And technically, we could do like remotes from like every room of the house.
Shayla said, Rhonda, did you and FPRI have a good investigation last night? Yes, we did.
So you could say that.
Yes, we did.
Welcome back, Howie.
Welcome back.
Welcome back
Welcome
to this place.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. I'm gonna feel like that.
Oh my goodness.
That hurts. All right. Anyway, so I heard y'all talking, so I was like, I'm not gonna get back upstairs. Rushy. I'm exhausted. It just hit me. Oh my God, it's been a crazy, crazy weekend. So, with that being said, we are, like I heard y'all say, this is the first time anybody on a podcast, because we've done lives from here.
Yeah.
Yes.
We realize a lot from here.
Yeah. But podcast wise, we are actually live in the den at the Rancher at Cabin at 360.
Yes.
It actually makes a pretty good podcast studio. If I do
It
say
It actually does.
It does.
It's very
And now-
homey.
Little man down there is probably going, no, you don't, you little bastard. Don't you come back here. And I'm waiting for that camera to completely shut down again, to be honest with you. I'm waiting for it. But I'm excited. We got cameras up so you guys can see. Feel free to ask any questions. We're just going to talk tonight about the Rancher, about the location. We'll answer, and please share. If there's something, an event that has happened to you here at 360, share it.
You don't hear about it.
Yeah, and if you see anything, like our phones and computers are a bit away from us. So if you see anything go on in any of those video feeds, please let us know.
Yeah. I felt the need to really put them up tonight because I was like, look, we never get that feed,
Yeah.
you know? And I was like, let's do this tonight, us three. We've spent so much time together here. There's been so much that we've encountered. And I thought tonight would be a great time for us to talk about our encounters.
Yeah, you never really do. Actually, we never done a podcast here. You've done stuff next door, and you guys have gotten stuff
Oh, yeah.
on
A
camera.
lot. Yeah.
over
Yeah.
there.
And we've actually, when we would been sitting there doing the show, I was usually on the window side that would be facing this way. And there's been multiple times I've seen lights on, people walk by windows when there shouldn't have been. Actually, I think we called you over one night because there was a light on that shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
It like all of a sudden just turned on. So yeah.
I would agree with that. Also, I think it makes me wonder if the format, because since we've gone to the restream format, we have not. Okay. Did anybody else just hear the click?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. We haven't had the interactions that we used to on Blog Talk because we did Blog Talk live feed on Facebook. Since we switched over to the restream, I'm wondering if it's a mic thing. I don't know, but the interaction has not been the same, but it's definitely still been present.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could talk about a little bit of that tonight. I thought that would be cool.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about
Whatever you want.
experiences,
Yeah.
you know?
Ronnie's got a question.
I want to say hello to Gail and Lois joined us. And Ronnie said, ask Shayla about the last time we were there doing SD session in that corner of the basement. Dennis carried her out.
Okay.
Well,
There you
Jayla,
go.
tell us about the last thing you were doing.
Yeah, share your information, share your story. We'd love
Yeah.
to hear about it. Anybody else, feel free. If anybody goes, where's your hat? It's in the car because I'm too lazy to go get it.
I already tried.
He did. He's like, what about your hat? And it was like 2 minutes till I'm like, and Ron was like, it's Sunday. I'm like,
That's fine. They know who you are.
screw it. You know me without the hat. It doesn't matter. We're good. I'm representing.
That was Howie over here.
That was that way.
Speaking of which, let's talk about last night a little bit.
Okay.
Our situation last night took place with the Hat Man.
Okay.
That's what I was talking. Maybe I should have brought him here. Then I'm like, no. He's an evil bastard. Last night, we encountered in Ashland some form of an entity that was claiming itself as the Hatman to a 14-year-old boy and causing the mother to be very sick. It was actually quite disturbing, and it got mad when I had my top hat on.
Like,
That's it wanted to be the only
I'm the only
Hatman.
Hatman around here.
Yeah. I mean, he was pissed. He angered the father. The father got angry with me. He said, no reason. I love you to death, bro. I'm like, I know, Kev. But he's like, I can't stand you right now. I'm like,
You think it was a mocking thing? Like they thought you were mocking him by wearing the hat, or
I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say something I think I know. But the interesting part is the reaction.
did you wear the hat during the investigation?
I took it off.
Just because of the Hatman part?
No, I actually just had it on because that's who I am. And I usually do wear it a lot in public because I'm not scared to. It's who I am. But I took it off out of respect after the fact. And then a little bit longer, I wouldn't put it back on and said, you are not going to change who I am.
What you do. Yeah. Good for you.
So with saying that, that's what brought me to thinking about the cabin. How many times have we interacted with that? I think I've gotten positive interaction because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think what they were talking, because I read, what the girl was saying about the place, and definitely a different set of circumstances over where she was in Ashland.
Yeah.
Than at the cabin. When people go out to the cabin, they say it's very welcoming. For the most part, there are some stuff in there that's not so welcoming.
I think it depends on the day, like we talked about.
But for the most part, it's like people come, they feel a lot better there than they do in here.
Oh yeah.
But I feel fine in here right now.
Yeah.
But again, I'm kind of used to it too. At the same time.
Very true.
But I think it's like any location. You can walk in and it either feels a certain way or it doesn't. We were actually talking about that some last night. I mean, anywhere I go, there's nights when I walk in certain places at Boga, we're like, we're not going to get anything tonight. It's quiet. So
you kind of know.
Yeah.
I think there's the nights that, since we have, split this transmission up as we have, I can come into the cabin now, and there's been times where it didn't feel the same because you weren't there. And there's other times where it's been just like, I think I'm just going to chill with you tonight. I'm like, okay, chill with me. Okay, if you want to. But I think the response is interesting, how when you get multiplicity of personalities that come in, how it starts to interact.
Yeah, it really is. Because we don't know all the spirits that are here. We have some that are like, okay, the old man, but and Melissa,
definitely.
But there are lots of random voices we get that don't belong to those categories, like the singing that Sean captured with his music box.
Now that's something that Gene and I have heard together. It was 4 years ago. And we heard singing, we heard whistling, and we heard
I've heard singing here. I heard singing. I caught singing back here, and I actually played it for one of Melissa's friends. Actually, the girl that she was supposed to spend the night with that Friday night. Mm-hmm. I played it for her, and she's like, "I'm 99.9% sure that was Melissa singing."
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That voice that Sean got was like a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And then we got the voice we
match.
captured on the live feed.
Yep.
That sounded older than that, but it was still singing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took them in Audacity and they did not match.
Interesting.
Which is, that's what I thought too. Because I was like, oh great, I'm gonna get a match. But when I compared on the 3 and put them over top, they were not the same.
Hmm.
They're all different voices. So I'm like, wow. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh. Glad to know they're still singing.
So Shayla said, I was tired and very hungry, which is not a good combination. This is true.
The hangries suck.
Tyler and I were doing dual STs, and I was shown some pretty awful things that were going to happen to him. I got super upset, and Dennis took me outside. Ronnie left his camera running, and John from FPRI had it crossed with a green light trigger object in the floor. When I was outside, John asked, what did you do to Shayla? The cross lit up. And then John said, I was correct that you can kind of tell when something's active or not.
Not me.
What is that? Oh,
No.
no, I think it's in
Your
the
bag.
backpack.
It's still coming from in the kitchen.
Hold on. Get out.
Use your phone. You have a lock on it?
It's not my phone.
Whose phone is this?
Uh,
Maybe Annie's or maybe.
it's got to be Hannah's.
Okay.
Good valid point, because I'm like, are we hearing metal music, which we have heard in here
Yeah.
before,
Okay.
which is ironic.
Until next time, put her phone on silent.
I know.
That was not paranormal. That was debunked.
I was like, that's kick ass. We
Yeah.
asked for a response. Well, okay.
Okay. Well, that was interesting.
That was
Hey Keith, thanks for sharing us out.
Thank you, sir. Hello, lo que pasa, amigo. And hello to everybody. If you're just tuning in, we are here live on the Cabin of 360 in the Rancher in the Den. We're lucky enough to be able to podcast from the Rancher and get the multiplicity of cameras out so y'all can see the visual while we are talking and general conversation about our experiences here on the property. Ooh, the property itself.
The whole thing
Yeah.
is just messed up.
This has come from the curator. It's messed up.
It's not the word I was looking for, but it's what I'm going with. Just so much stuff happens. Like every time, well, okay, almost every time. Gotta throw that out there. Not every, because every time you get experience, but most time when people do get experiences, even if it's like something small, like I guess when Hill City was here, like we didn't get much, but they still got all that stuff they got. I'm like, that's a lot
They got
for
a buttload after the fact.
yeah.
Yeah.
And every time I come here, every time I ask about their experiences, they're like, this is like the most like messed up place I've ever been. Again, I'm censoring myself because not the word they use.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had, what was it, Beyond the Badge Paranormal come out on the show on Tuesday.
Mhm.
And they told us straight up, they're like, we thought this was just going to be a filler space. Go out here, maybe get some training done. Because they started their investigation.
That sounds familiar.
I know, right? They started their investigation or their team in October. So this was like their second location after St. Albans. Like, we'll go here. We'll train up our group, and then we'll go to a real location because they had Sweet Springs set up after that.
Location.
And they're like, they said they had the most insane time. There are people that don't want to come back here. They said their team was terrified to come back to this place, but we haven't come back in August for an event we have out here. So,
Well,
you gotta
learn experience.
You gotta do it.
I remember that first couple months when we first started the Orion Effect and its studios from the cabin, the experiences that were taking place. And I remember during that time, there was one team from New Hampshire, Ohio. New Hampshire had come down, and they couldn't even stay the whole night.
They rented the place for the whole weekend and didn't stay. $400 and drove down in a Ford Expedition, 9 hours.
Wow.
It would have to be something like seriously wrong for me to want to get back in the car and drive another 9 hours back up the road to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Especially after paying, the money that you had paid, and to just get the squirt out of here, that's pretty intense.
It just goes to show, like, when you got these feelings, it can mess with you, mess with your head. And if it messes with your head enough where you think you can't survive or you can't, or if it's going to tear your team apart, maybe they thought the only thing they could do was go back. And Dennis even offered to come out and bless the house or tell them to calm down or whatever. And he's like, no, man, we're just gonna go back. And I had him on the show, like maybe a month or two after it happened, and I asked them, like, did you guys ever, this is the first time this ever happened, we felt the urge to leave an investigation before. And they're like, no, we've been doing this for, 40 years between the two of them, 20 years of experience for each person. And then the team, we've gone to like Waverly Hills, all the main places that people go because of like they've been on TV and stuff. But they've been like, this place, man, it gets to you. And we have teams that come back, over and over again because there's something about this place that makes them want to come back, even all the stuff, all the bad stuff that happens here or has happened to teams, they still want to come back to it. So
right. And it's a valid point because it makes me wonder, and I'm going to throw this out. Is the location sensitive to people's intent, to their personalities, and it reacts different to every group? Because some groups can get along and they get nothing. Some get a lot of stuff. Some get the hell out, the boogie.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder if you're coming here with some kind of personality and it does not care for that, it's going to give you a mental ass whooping.
Yeah, I was actually thinking something similar. I was kind of wondering, like, is it the groups that come in thinking there's not going to be anything, so they're not protecting themselves, they're not kind of doing anything to prepare themselves to come into a location like this. So that's why they're feeling it more. And maybe like when I first came in here, I already felt apprehensive. So I took proper steps and I've never felt horrible here.
Yeah, it could be. I could tell people when they come out, I'm like, you need to be prepared for what is what's here. There's no guarantee that something is going to happen to you.
Right.
Well, that's the paranormal in general.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee you're going to have activity at that one location, at that time, at that place all the time.
But you still have to bring stuff to come prepared, like you are going to get something.
Yeah. You've got to be prepared.
Yeah.
You don't walk into a place blind like that and go, and with the arrogance of going, it's not going to mess with me. Because that's probably usually the time it's going to go, oh, look, how sweet, fresh meat. No.
Well, it's like the Beyond the Badge said, they looked at the place, it's just this random log cabin and a random brick rancher on Mechanicsville Turnpike. Nothing special about it. Hasn't been on TV. It's not a prison. It's not a hospital. I mean, it's a battlefield. It gets
battlefield, and not that something hasn't happened here at the rancher.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. That was dramatic.
Yeah.
So if they don't think that's dramatic, okay.
Well, I mean, I just think they looked at it as something just not as active as some other locations they were going to go to.
I feel they underestimated this situation.
They admitted they underestimated the situation.
I think too, when you go to a location that looks assumingly old, so you would like immediately like, oh, there's all that history here, and so you look at this and it looks like a rancher in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
You're kind of like, I don't know.
But
it's deceptive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we know there's activity, a lot of activity in newer homes. And why would that be? That's you never take any one situation for granted. You should never do that.
I'm sure there are a lot of houses around here with all the Civil War stuff and all the construction and all the messing with battlefields and probably messing up with people's resting places that have got activity, maybe not as intense as here, but I'm sure there are several houses that have spirits in them around here.
I say that, and that's the interesting part you bring up, because I have to reflect to childhood and to location. And I almost go on the verge of saying per capita this state, and I'm sorry, I believe from all my research, I believe per capita, Virginia is the most haunted state. But now look on the inside, I would almost verge to say that Lakeside might be one of the most haunted per capita centered parts of Virginia, or at least around Richmond, that has the most activity. The incredible stuff that happens that are not even registered in the people that live there and who have lived there, and the stuff that's happened there, and all of the experiences that you hear on a daily basis, if you ever spending time lakeside and you listen to the people, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, quadrant to location to people, places, and things. It's just like here, you know, just like y'all were saying. Who's going to expect a rancher and a cabin made back in the 80s to show as examples, a showroom to have activity? Holy crap.
Right.
The amount of activity that's here is phenomenal. Ooh, that's a good word. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Phenomena.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's looking for her phone.
Maiden at that. All right. Well, that's coming out of nowhere. Maybe it's being affected.
He's getting a phone call.
Hey, Hanny, your phone's going off. So
So Shayla said, I agree, Howie. It could be very well be at least one of the top 5 states.
yeah.
You don't see many paranormal investigations. Like, you don't see them on TV. You don't see ghost adventures coming to places in Virginia. You barely see people. Sometimes I'll see, like, ghost hunters go to a random plantation.
Plantation. Let's talk about Plantation Row. Holy crap. That's
Wood
Southampton
Plantation?
County. Yeah, well, there you go. Starts
Very,
there
very active.
and then shoots straight down going to Southampton County.
Plantation.
Oh my God, the plantation's along. Is it 58? 56. I can't remember the name, which route that is.
Route
right now.
5.
You know, well, Route 5's
Yeah.
the other one right there. I mean, we're amidst the Bible Belt, so you're not going to get a lot of talking per se. But in the last couple of years, it's actually coming out. They're going, hey, oh, this on it, and I know about this, I know about that, I know about this,
Yeah.
how about this place?
It's trickling out.
You
It's
have to
like-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you as a Virginian will know to go where people out of state are like, oh, where to go? Oh, let me give you a list.
It's true.
Yeah.
Trying to break out the scroll of haunted places.
Yeah, because we've got revolutionary, we've got piracy, we've got Civil War, we got Native American, we got pre-government. We pretty much, we're gonna have to put that in the other room. Sorry, y'all, for the metal.
Yeah.
And it's Maiden again. Not that I'm denying it. Got it.
Put it in the drawer.
We're still going to hear it.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, going back to what she was talking about, there's so many places around here. Plus the fact that it's going to echo now. Yeah.
Yeah. They're Iron Maiden
Never hear it
everywhere.
in stereo.
Yeah. Probably pissed Dobby off. Hope not. No, that's interesting. Let's talk about the show and the location real quick. How often do you think, or do you guys feel that, because I've been here for 4 years now,
Mm-hmm.
how much of this activity that we've encountered on the show do you think may have come from that entity, if so, or do you think it's all outside cabin related? Because I've always questioned that.
I mean, as far as the stuff you've gotten on the show during the like the EVPs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because it's never harmful, it's never angry. It's,
Well, there was that one day where it sounded like the table flew across the room upstairs.
That's true. It was that day.
There was that day.
It was that day. But a lot of times, even you have admitted that feeling that a entity
Yeah.
in the staircase.
Yeah. Watching more. I've always felt more observed
You'll know,
than
yeah,
threatened over there.
you'll know when something's wrong over there. You feel it.
I've only been in the last 4 years, only 2 times have I ever felt like ended the show. I went, oh, I gotta get the hell out of here. And I literally got the hell out of it. I was like, yeah, you are not happy with me today for whatever reason. But pre-shows have been the most exciting for me. What about some of the times you remember? Yeah, with the show or not? I don't want to ignore you guys. We're not ignoring y'all, by the way, in chat. Trust us. We're just,
Hey, Sarah.
it's set up different.
Kim Sage, hello.
Say what?
Yeah.
My Sarah?
Yes.
Sarah.
My baby. Yeah, my baby. Hello.
I don't know. The only time I got nervous, the only thing happens to me is sometimes when I'm not expecting it and something happens that'll make me a little uneasy was when Howie was upstairs putting stuff away and I heard somebody walk down the hall, like with big boots.
Big boobs?
Boots.
Oh, sorry.
That's
what I thought.
But I mean, usually it's
I was
just
like,
been,
what is that?
I think my experiences have just been hearing what you will hear a knock, we'll hear a sigh, we'll hear something of that nature. I did get touched one time, which was funny because when Kim was here on our show, she got touched in the same place, like right on the leg. I was like, something just touched me on the leg.
Now, was that when we did our in-house show?
Yes.
Oh, we got to do that again. That was so
Yeah,
fun.
and then
Live and
the other thing has just been when I'm just sitting at the window and I like glance over, I'm like, oh, somebody just moved over there. Oh, there's a
over
light
here.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing. Again, I always just felt observed during the shows.
I don't want to go too far because I know next Saturday we are being
Dennis, don't egg
interviewed.
him on. Don't egg him on.
Who's that? What?
Dennis, he said big boobs. Does that sound like flip flops?
They might. Depends if you jump. Flop, flop. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I want to keep on moving on that one.
We don't go down the boob rabbit hole.
No rabbit holes. We're trying to keep away. I don't want to say too much because I know that that's something special with Austin next weekend. But I will tell you the times that it was pre-show. I've had some interesting encounters. This is before you came on. I know there's been a couple times where I was by myself in the rancher. There was actual physical activity that took place. That was a little interesting. You and I experienced that one time when we had talking to another individual on a Sunday, and the door opened up.
Oh yeah. It opened multiple times.
Multiple times. Just, and we're not talking because of wind, because that was a day there was really no wind. The door just went, and I was like,
and we shut the door, make sure it's shut, and then it did it again.
That's the thing.
The front door?
Front
Yeah,
door.
front
Yeah,
door.
that thing that's like my go-to now. They love messing with me with that front door.
Messing with the side door.
Yeah, side door. Oh, well, yeah, that's a good point.
Well, you said they like messing with the bathroom door.
Oh, that got me the other day. That happened not too long ago. I was in the restroom
Taking a rest.
and the door opened up, bare butt and everything. And I'm like, oh, this is not even funny, you guys. I'm thinking he or Dennis
I
are
would
there.
never, ever, ever do that.
Dennis might.
Just so you know.
I know. But I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that is probably the worst feeling. I will say, and
Oh, thank you.
doing this for a long time. And I just thought about it that day that you are at your weakest, most defenseless point when you're on the toilet and paranormal activity takes place.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and I'm like,
with your pants
no fun
down.
about shitting on yourself.
Not funny, guys.
Yeah, you bastards,
Fall
you
on
son of a
your
bitch.
What?
We're just trying to figure out what you're thinking about that.
I got no thoughts.
You're
At
trying to
this
keep
point,
it in, aren't you?
I am not. So, to the chat. Shayla said, how does it feel in the rancher right now? We were actually talking about before the show, it feels very light. It's very quiet right now.
We had that one instance with the camera in the basement.
Yeah, we've just had the cameras go out. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, one time.
Messing
And
with
then-
us a little bit.
And Haney's phone going crazy.
Yeah.
But
And since we put it in there, it's not going off. There's a surprise.
yeah.
But actually, I think the rancher, not the cabin, the rancher, the rancher actually unusually feels good. And I don't usually say that, but the rancher actually feels very light.
Of course, it would feel like tonight when we actually want something to
I
happen.
know, right? That's the other thing. We did say, hey, your opportunity to talk or communicate, knock something, tap something, whatever. And yeah, probably not till the podcast goes off. However, it is
Stuff will start
interesting.
flying around the house.
Hey, let's
Yeah.
not go that far. Jesus.
Crawling up the walls and shit.
Yeah, that's
As soon as the
not
camera
that
goes off.
shit either.
Hey, Jason Gray. Hey, Sarah Hall. Hey, Dennis said, I'm an asshole, but I don't want to see yours.
Haha.
I'm not an asshole, and I don't want to see
I
it.
beat you. I went from asshole to dickhead last night, so you can. I doubled you. That was interesting as hell. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny.
The woods are active AF.
Oh my God, the woods.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the woods.
Let's talk about the woods.
Holy crap.
Think about someplace can be completely peaceful during the day,
Yeah.
and then at night it's like you got like a whole different world.
It's a completely different personality.
Mm-hmm.
It changes. It literally changes that dusk to dawn moment. A lot of y'all might know my theory on that. But as soon as dusk hits and it rolls, so does the attitude of the woods. And sometimes there's nothing. I mean, to me, sometimes you just get that eerie feeling. Other times, there is some serious shit going down. I know I've experienced some things I have never experienced before on an investigation. I was with you, and Sarah was with us, and Jason Gray was with us, and we had some 2 or 3 other different wonderful people with us. And this was last year in the woods, and we saw what looked like floating red candles all around us. And they weren't not just solid. They were moving up and down and
like all over the place back there.
Right? And they were surrounding us. And I'm like, what in the hell is this? I've never seen this before. I'm like, okay, now we've gone to a whole new level of what the WTF. I couldn't explain it. I can't scientifically explain it. I couldn't then, I can't now. But I can tell you that's a moment that I had that's a mass haunting, more than 2 people,
Right.
2 or more experiencing it. But on the flip side, I've never heard anybody talk about that. I've heard the tales of the cloaked people and the 7-foot entities and things like that. I've never encountered anything like that. I have felt unwelcome at times. Ignore, go away. But to experience that and the cries that I've heard in the woods, I can't explain those either. Except for if we want to go mythological, then I would say fae or something other, but I can't prove that those entities or subjects actually exist. So I do not want to say that's what it was. What do I feel? What do you think?
I mean, I know last week when we did a live from the woods, it was me, you, Sarah, and Hanny, and Elizabeth walking through the woods, and we got to the outside of the circle where we're the way back, but we could see it, but we were outskirts of it, where we saw the fairy lights, the blue and red lights,
whatever the hell they were.
Yeah,
That's what
for sake of argument,
that's what I've usually seen them in. It's like flashing either gold or red.
It wasn't like summertime.
Not necessarily flashing, but they. Yeah.
Wasn't glow.
Yeah.
Lightning bugs or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're in that area where we saw the lights, whatever they were, and then while I was walking through it, Sarah just like the cow and pulled back.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I thought somebody like a bug had gotten in her shirt and stung her, and then she like someone grabbed my shoulder and pulled me back. Like put her hand on the shoulder like this and pulled it back. Yeah. So I looked on her shoulder. Her shoulder was all red,
and you actually could see kind of fingerprint indentions. That was pretty intense. We did because it looked like they kept it tried and then pulled her like this, and I was like, "Ooh, okay."
And then we're walking back to, into the circle. Excuse me, not back to the circle, but into the circle. And whereas we're walking towards it, Elizabeth starts crying for no reason, and she's like, "I don't know why, but I'm feeling like really sad right here," and you can see the tears coming down.
She was crying.
Yeah. And so finally we got into the circle where we investigate. I felt safer, once we're out of the danger zone.
Yeah.
That's curious.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was very different comparatively to what we're used to, what I'm used to with people back there.
Yeah.
Especially the daytime.
But we never, when we're out there, we usually stay in the circle. We don't usually venture out into the other parts of the woods.
But not with other people. You and I have.
We got lost. Not at night when we're out and trying, but.
No, but that's
Might be something worth looking into.
I agree. And I mean, that's why I purchased the
Go to
weather station.
places where we usually go other places.
Change up.
Yeah.
We,
I haven't had a lot happen in the woods when I've been there. So
yeah.
we did the last investigation here, which kind of matched up with something y'all got the other day. Was I think we were in the front woods. We played some Native American music, and Kim asked, "Are you a warrior?" And it came back almost like a question on EVP, a warrior? Question mark. Like maybe they hadn't heard themselves called that before, or maybe that was not the terminology they used for themselves. It was very curious.
I've started trying to use it more Native American language.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We go back there just to, let them know that we know they're there. And
YouTube has some great stuff.
mhm.
I mean, YouTube really has access to Powhatan language and music, and we know that was primary, but that's not saying all.
Right.
But yeah,
And they use some Civil War stuff too. And
yeah, Civil War. What other triggers? We've used we want to try that, but we've used the tablet as seemed like a fire pit or a burning fire, which we've tried that at one time, and we got a lot of good reactions with that in the way back. Ryan turned on his tablet, set it down, and it just sounds like a fire
a
pit.
YouTube video of a fire, and then like, hey, come on, join us in the fire. Act like we're
That makes sense.
soldiers or whatever.
Now, I
See if
tell you
they join
what,
us.
one of the most crazy nights that I've had here ever was the night that me, Ryan, and Sarah were here. It was a Sunday night. We were doing the fire pit, eating hot dogs, and having a good time, but we put a lot of equipment out. And the responses we were getting was off the damn chart. Every piece of equipment was going off. We were getting the most insane EVPs with something saying we're hiding here, or how do they put it? It was we're safe here, or the other ones were saying leave, get the hell out.
Get people's names, girls' names.
Oh God, we had like 12 names that night.
That's curious. We were talking about that recently too. How no matter how hard you try, sometimes you cannot get a name. You can get them to respond anything else you want them to, clear as day. But when you ask for name, it's a.
I'll tell you my name.
What's your problem with this?
What are you talking about? But it was crazy because when we were in the woods, I was in the woods with Sarah doing a necrophonic session, and they were like, saying, "Oh, she's pretty," and then they were saying, "F you" and leave and all this other stuff coming through, calling her a whore or a slut, stuff like that. You know how they do.
Right.
And we then we come back, and I'm thinking something is in the woods that scared whatever came to us, and they felt safe around the fire pit where we were.
Yeah.
Yes. There are times when this property does not feel right. There feels like there's something else here, something darker.
Yeah.
Feels. We're not saying it is. We're just saying it feels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to miscue anybody out there, but yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. Like I said, that it does feel like when the light chooses the dark, it's different. And when, I don't know, for those of you who've stayed here, it feels the same. When the dark goes into light, it's like a lifting, and you walk through the woods, it's just so damn peaceful.
It is.
Yeah.
There are certain parts of the woods that are peaceful, and you go to another part of the woods, you're like, oh, this is different.
A lot of times in the woods, you just feel watched. Like people are crouched down, just watching you. And I think the other thing, we always talk about the battles that were on this ground, the Native Americans that were on this ground. And one thing I had never really thought about is we found an artifact at Belgrove accidentally. And when we had it dated, the date was like 8,000 BC. Looked like an arrowhead. Oh, so then you start thinking about the primitive cultures that were here that we don't even think about, and the fact that these woods are untouched.
Yeah.
You know,
It
they've
is-
not been cleared. They're not, so we don't know what other stuff could be there.
That's sort of say that, you know, we don't know what happened. We know the Civil War. We
Mhm.
don't know what happened before the Civil War. We know it was mostly quite more open fields than woods. you know,
Right,
back
right.
then. But at the same time, we don't know all the people who crossed. We don't know anybody else who died here in this house besides Melissa. It wasn't just them that were living here.
Yeah.
I think the house was built maybe 1960s or something. There could have been other people that have passed away here, or other people's memories that
Yeah.
were here.
But wouldn't that be
And so-
documented in the
Well, the
the
whole house
census?
wasn't documented, right?
I mean, I guess, probably.
I mean, I don't know. It's a good thought. Check the census.
yeah.
I mean, it should give birth deaths, well, not always, not of location either. I don't know.
Well,
it's a thought.
I think I looked at the real estate, like the records, and it said it was built the house was built in the 1960s.
So, yeah.
Well, then I mean, that's a whole almost 20
But,
years worth of
yeah.
stuff that's taken place, along with the structures that could have been here.
True.
And, we know, I mean, look, that's the other crazy thing. In 2022, it stopped. But for 2019, 2020, 2021, there would be times we'd be walking, and I talked to you about this before,
Mm-hmm.
walking from the cabin to the rancher or from the rancher to the cabin. There would be a clear woman saying hello or good evening or good morning. And I'd be like, there's nobody around to that point where I started responding back. They would say hello. And I'm like, hello, good evening. How are you today? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, for whatever reason in 2022, that ceased to exist anymore. It stopped. Why? That's one of my things. Why did it stop?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
Maybe they moved on.
Yeah.
that's,
I mean, I captured an EVP of had a recording on walking across the front yard with Dennis, and you hear a male voice, and that southern kind of genteel yes type thing.
Yes.
look at that.
Yeah. And Dennis got an EVP of opening the door, and the little girl going as she's unlocking the front door.
Very cool.
It's everywhere, front yard, backyard.
Yeah.
And that's a valid point. It's not in just one location. It's like this. And I would love to know about the neighbors, but we know how some of them are around. If they had encountered anything.
Nikki and I got an EVP of a woman downstairs in the basement saying "Kumba,"
Come on.
"Kumba," but it was like an African American woman,
Mhm.
and like we don't usually get those kinds of EVPs.
Well, look at the
around
last
here.
2 weeks. What's been dominant? Kroger.
Yeah,
German.
Yeah,
There's German language being pretty dominant here until the last, well, for actually longer, probably 6 weeks. If not, we didn't pay attention prior to it.
I've never got the word Kroger.
Yeah, and it's really weird. It was the exact same voice, exact same
Inflection.
inflection. It's everything. Kroger?
Kroger.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know better.
Yeah, Kroger. There's like one of those Valley girls, like Kroger.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You heard it twice, and I'm like, all right, could that be a commercial? Like
Like
that, could we be bleeding that?
I got that short I made. Okay, Kroger, I get it.
Yeah, but yeah. But the ironic part to that is that's not the only voice that said Kroger. We've gotten it in the woods, we've gotten it up in the Pearl,
Mm-hmm.
and we've gotten it here in the basement, right?
I've never heard it here in the basement.
No, it wasn't the basement.
One time I ever heard Kroger
Woods.
was upstairs in the Pearl with the group,
And then
and then in the woods too.
okay, so it was two. But in the Pearl, we heard a Kroger on male and female,
Yeah,
not just
Okay.
that Kroger. So that I was like,
and
wow.
Kroger means innkeeper in German,
Yep.
not a grocery store.
Yeah.
So a little bit of knowledge for you guys.
There you
Dropping
go.
some knowledge on
Das
you.
den wirklich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go to the first experience because that's been overdone, but I know the experiences here in the rancher. I have to say, I haven't had that many experiences here in the rancher, which is the weird part to me. majority of all my interactions been in the cabin. Here in the rancher, maybe a ghost ball. Here we go with the balls again. Maybe a cat
I know
ball.
where your mind's at.
Yeah. EVPs, our personal interactions with weird stuff like flying cardinals flying into the door. I don't recall any others. The only other thing is I can go back to National Ghost Hunting Day, but that was all of us seeing it, and
Oh yeah,
that was on video.
That video.
The thing, yeah.
So had to,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, so I can say, other than the very first time I was here, I have not had any unusual reactions.
Most of I've had has been small stuff adding to a lot of stuff. Like I've had a lot of small experiences out here, lots of EVPs. And I'll probably be able to think of a ton of stuff that happened to me right
You're
now.
not here.
Now that I'm like on the spot.
I know. I got
Like people ask me what you want for
okay.
Christmas. I don't know. Then an hour later, like, oh, I want this.
Oh my
You're
God, I
already
forgot
gone.
all
Yeah,
about
exactly.
that.
I did one time. I was just having actually outside, but I was inside when it happened. Actually, yeah, it was one time I was looking outside the. I'm going like different spots.
You're everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Focus.
All right, let me finish that story. I was in the Melissa's room. I think Jason Gray was with me. I was in Melissa's room, and I was looking out the window. I saw a figure walk outside the window.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was very misty
saw an
and
apparition.
yeah, but it was really fast, and it was like one of the things where you see it, and I always thought if I saw a ghost, I would freak out when I saw a ghost, but it was mostly my mind wasn't
Life
keep
person,
track
life
of
person.
what was going on. It's like keep going. Hey, it was like you see something and you don't really realize what you're seeing until you've seen it, and you're like, oh, what the hell was that?
Right.
Um,
That happened
yeah.
about 2 weeks
It
ago.
was about 2 weeks ago.
I was in the
say.
cabin and we were talking about something, and I just happened to look up like out the window, and I looked back and started talking. I was like, I just saw a man walk
Literally.
by the window.
You saw that too. Well, I've seen it before. A man, and it was
And
he
it
has to
had-
be like 8 feet tall.
Yeah,
I see
but
it.
he was wearing, like I told Howie, I said it looked like a mechanic's. I said, but I guess it could have been military.
Mhm.
But it was like green, but looked like a mechanic's suit.
Like
And it
a
just walked
jumpsuit.
by. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Wow.
But it could have been like army fatigues or something, and I just didn't.
I saw the same thing early or a few
Yeah.
years ago. Just walking by the
Just
side,
walked by the
side
window.
between the cabin and the rancher.
Yeah.
And I was thinking because it
That's
was
exactly where you saw
you
it.
walk
Yep.
by, like Dennis walked by, all you could see was a baby the top of his head.
Yep.
You know, but
Yep.
I saw like the full like torso walk by.
Yep.
You know,
Like I saw the torso, and it's literally I'm talking, and I look over and I keep talking. I was like, I just stop. I just saw somebody.
you don't realize what
She
you're
was like,
seeing until like,
I'm like,
Well, it happened to me too. We were leaving one evening. It must have been summer because it wasn't dark yet. It was like
God,
No.
now.
well, we were leaving then at like 9, so it was almost dark.
Oh yeah.
And I went to leave. He was doing something else. I was like, I just went out, and all of a sudden I see what looked like a boy or an adolescent walking down the service road with what I thought was a lantern. And I just didn't pay attention. When I looked back, gone.
that's random.
Yep.
There are times when I'll be here, and it was during the SPS investigation we had out here.
Mhm.
I was in the Melissa's room with Jennifer, and I think what was it, Kelsey had come upstairs, and they'd
Kelsey,
both come upstairs. And Kelsey and your brother come upstairs,
Right.
and we heard talking. It was muffled talking,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, go outside and see if there's someone who's wants to come in, and we'll switch up. So I sent Kelsey out just to check it out, and there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And you get out that a lot here. You hear muffled conversations.
It's almost like
Happening here.
conversations that are here, but not here. Like it's somewhere else.
Yes.
Place
Well, we
somewhere
get a
else.
lot of that anywhere you're at with EVPs, where it sounds like there's a whole conversation going on,
Yeah,
but you can't
understand
quite
what they're
make it
saying.
out, and it sounds like it's multiple people talking. That we get that so much with EVPs.
Frustrating, especially when you're talking and then they start talking
Mhm.
while you're talking, and they're like, "It's right there, you can hear it."
Speaking of EVPs and all that takes place here, one of the funnest times is when we were playing MJ's game.
Oh, yeah.
over in the cabin, and the responses that we were getting were were very intelligent, actually. Where one of them, yeah, it was funny. I'll give that. I won't say what was said, but it's ironic how the interaction was when we were playing that game. They were interacting clear as day with us when we were playing this game.
Yeah. It's paranormal profanities, and so some of it gets a bit graphic, and we had people within the group that were not always comfortable reading what the cards said.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
And so
Jennifer.
there was somebody it got to, and they were studying, and the equipment said, just say it.
Just say it.
Ooh, speaking of that, when we're doing the a necrophonic in here, and I got the video on my Facebook page, and the truck goes by, and I'm like, we're trying to talk to those here, God, and then Sarah says,
Oh,
God.
yeah.
And then my necrophonic says, God, right after that. So they do like to joke around with us, and they do enjoy it. And I think we were talking like earlier this year about, when we used to come out here and have Cabin on 360 Thursdays, and to have people come out here every week, but it wasn't just for investigating. We had cookouts, we had family time. John Pagano from Henricus Park would bring his guitar, and we, play music and stuff, and we do like sing-alongs. And I think the activity was a lot different back then as well. They were more active. They felt included.
Mm-hmm.
But we did that next door. We never came over here and did it. This was mostly for investigating and stuff. But doing the more of that, having more quality time, not just investigating time here.
It could be that this location, the land or whatever, is actually gotten to the point where it might be tapped, and probably a focus of, just like you were talking, of more socializing and less investigating may be required.
I mean, people are still getting stuff when they come out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. But maybe it would change.
Yeah, maybe they could bring in. They feel more comfortable coming out and speaking to us. But just trying to find the time to get people to come out and do that kind of stuff. But definitely something worth thinking about.
Well, I'm glad we took this time to do this show.
Me too.
Especially here.
Yep.
And everybody that's joined us, we truly appreciate it. Definitely check out the Cabin on 360. Check them on Facebook. You'll find out the good and the bad. And actually, I think there's much more good than there's bad. But don't say, there's been things that have happened. Always. Just always be with your wits about you when you come here to the cabin, especially to the rancher.
Be cognizant.
Yeah.
But you go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's
Never underestimate any
pretty good
location.
advice to have.
Yeah. Never
Just
ask.
assume that anything could happen.
Yeah, that's a damn good T-shirt right there. Shoot, man.
Just assume anything can happen. We make a lot of good T-shirts on these shows.
Oh no, man, we need a patent.
What was that?
Oh, that's a new one.
That's right.
Put on the dry erase boy. I got a new shirt. Hey, Scott.
That's right.
But I just want to say thank you to all of you travelers and those like for tuning in and giving your input and sharing your experiences. If you did, when you can, you could. If not, feel free to continue. But also check it out on Facebook. Check out all the locations. Look out for the events that are coming. A lot of great events. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure who we have next Sunday. I'll have to go back and look at that again.
Well, if you don't know, I don't know.
I certainly don't know.
But listen up at that. We're in the midst of our summertime lineup, so we are putting dates in. You'll be seeing that. Other than that, you can check out these two on Tuesday night
On the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. We're going to be coming at you live from 8 o'clock this Tuesday with Two Brothers Extreme Paranormal, the first hour. And the second hour, we're going to be reacting to old retro commercials from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Oh, I'm going to check that out. I love this.
Excited about that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So,
I'm glad you reminded me we're at 8 o'clock because I had completely forgot.
yeah,
Oops.
I forgot to.
Now, along with them is Sarah Hall. So
Sarah Hall, yes, Sarah Hall, somewhere here.
Yeah, she's supposed to come back.
She did.
She's like, the coffee's ready in the cabin. So.
Oh, yay, the cup. But yeah, the opportunity for us to go and show you the rancher in the basement and in Melissa's room. I'm kind of glad we didn't talk about Melissa. I don't want her uncomfortable, you know?
No, yeah.
She's a big part of the rancher, but you talk about it too much. It sometimes rattles. I think it was a great night. The atmosphere feels really good, like I said before. And, you know, when you come here, you'll definitely experience something different. It is different. You don't know if and when you're going to get anything. You may never get anything. You may get a whole lot, but I can tell you, you will have different experiences each time.
People come back for a reason.
Yeah, that's right.
There it is. I totally agree with you. What else do you want to put on that on the ending note of this magnificent show?
I've got nothing.
You got nothing.
I'm telling you, I'm operating on a few brain cells today.
I got a little fumes left.
Running on fumes.
I'm on fumes today.
That's another running on fumes.
Running on fumes.
Running
Running
on
on fumes.
fumes.
Paranormal investigating. Running on fumes.
We could start writing a song.
Running on fumes.
Running on fumes.
Running on fumes.
So thank y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. We
thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Sweet. Yes. You got anything you want to put out there, shout out real quick?
I know we've got the show on Tuesday, and then if any of you guys are super
Good time.
you want to come out on May 27th, we're going to be placing flags at Evergreen Cemetery.
Yeah, is it already that
In
time?
Woodland Cemetery, it's coming up.
Yep.
And then I guess June 1st, we've got the investigation at Henricus Park with Crop.
Yep.
Tickets are on sale for that, and that's an incredible location
Yes.
to investigate.
Yes.
So if you're in the area, come out June 1st.
Yep. Rumor has it FBR will be there.
Oh, there you go.
Sweet. And then of course we've got Haunted Nights
That's what I was trying
on
to get.
June 14th, 15th, and 14th
Yep.
with the Tennessee Wraith Chasers coming out here for their two night event.
Two night.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
ASPS has their big investigation coming in May. Excited about that. And then ASPS will actually be out at Cold Harbor while y'all are at
Two
And
locations.
Henricus.
We're going to be spreading.
yeah.
I'll be sending you lives from Henricus from Cold Harbor.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a double investigation. It should be
Yeah.
awesome.
Me and Vicky will be riding out there and hanging out with Michael White and doing research out there. So I'm excited about that. And, it's good to get the team back out and doing our thing, what we've always done, and not doing it like everybody else. And I love that part.
Yeah.
It makes me smile, makes me happy.
Yeah, and FPRI, we've got a couple weeks off, but we have Sage Paracon
Yeah, there
coming
it is. See?
Memorial Day weekend,
Oh yeah.
and that is multiple days. So it's a good time out at Belgrove Plantation for Sage
Definitely
Paracon.
go
I've been
out,
there
go
drunk
out
once
there.
or twice.
So,
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't say drunk. It was fun. I was personable. All right, travelers and those thank you so much. We appreciate it. Always make sure to help another one out, get them back on their surfboard. Put some more sympathy and empathy out there. Help these people that may be lacking that. You don't have to put up with people's bullshit. Be strong in yourself. Don't allow people to push you in a direction. Be who you are. Wear your armor. And in that, you'll bring other people up. Until we see you again on the other side, may virtue be yours.
bye.
Good night.
Good night, sweetheart.
It's time to go. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah,
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Elvis has left the building.
Thank you, Hannah.